Hey, what's up budget gamers? This is a stupid video that I didn't want to make, but after months of being shouted at in the comments, the 6900K returns and is given a chance to redeem itself. Let's find out for real, does it game? Straight away, I will be honest, I hated spending money on the contents of this box, even though it's beautiful. The box contains an ancient prosumer ASRock X99 WS board dating from the time of the 4th Dynasty, I'm pretty sure, which has all of the fancy features we need to extract the most from the 6900K and give it a fair test that I've been repeatedly told I didn't do last time by a bunch of people missing the point. This board, the cheapest original X99 retail board available, cost $110 delivered and is truly awesome looking with its anodized machined heatsinks and abundance of PCIe and RAM slots, but it's still a terrible buy in 2023 and I hate it. Almost as much as I hate the 6900K. Which is still available in the $100 to $130 range. That's more than the whole Dell system I used last time cost, and it makes for a waste of over $200 in 2023. Why is it a waste? Because this exists. Yes, the venerable dirt cheap Arying Tiger Lake board and CPU combo from AliExpress. The repurposed engineering sample laptop chip and board in this box can be had shipped worldwide for at least $20 less than the 6900K combo, and I'm willing to bet it'll trounce the old Broadwell funny number i7 the same way the Xeons did in the last video. But, to be fair, I'm going to give the 6900K the best chance possible, clocking it to 4.2 GHz all cores and running its quad channel memory at 2800 MHz, the absolute fastest I could get stable under any conditions with any RAM. Probably because everything about it is pushing a decade old and everything on it from the cores to the IMC to the VRMs has been run hard and is starting to degrade. The Arying, meanwhile, is going to be run at 4.4 GHz all cores because it easily hits that and has its dual channel memory running at 3200 MHz, which will give the older i7 a bandwidth advantage. For testing purposes, I'm going to use this 80 plus gold rated Arsenmatron 5000, and because I don't want to risk my personal 6800 on this PSU, all testing is going to be done with the same RTX 3060 Ti, same drivers, and same physical drives. Assembled and sitting on the desk, the board still looks pretty good admittedly, and is ready to finally flex its aging muscles. When it comes to benchmarks, oh no surprise, in Cinebench R15, the 6th generation's newer laptop chip obliterates the X99 rig in both single-threaded work and, owing to having the same 8-core 16-thread configuration, also handily slays it in multi-threaded work. Did anyone not see this coming though? However, we're gonna pump the brakes because Cinebench isn't a game or even a gaming benchmark, so let's move on. Hey look, it's another bloodbath as the 6900K loses by a huge margin, over 20% in 3D Mark Time Spy's CPU testing. But it isn't all bad news when it comes to real games. Yes, it still loses, literally all the time, but not always by a catastrophic margin. Starting off where we usually end with Horizon Zero Dawn, the 6900K manages to kind of hold its own, pushing almost 170 FPS on average with a very reliable 121 FPS for a 1% low. Caveat though, it is still consistently bested by the cheaper Arying i9 in both areas. In Halo Infinite, owing to the huge amount of bandwidth provided by the quad-channel overclocked RAM on the 6900K, the difference in average frame rate is surprisingly small, with both averaging over 220 FPS, although there is a comical gulf of 30 FPS between the 1% lows, and that is one that you absolutely will feel while playing. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the brightest spot overall and delivers another confidence-inspiring-ish result for the 6900 with an average of only 10 FPS difference between the two results, and at frame rates that are still well into the territory of high refresh rate gaming. But since I obviously led with the good results, we should know where this goes from here. Far Cry 5's benchmark sees the gap widen to almost 20 FPS on average, and the gap in minimums grows to nearly 40, which is not the kind of result you want to see from a combo that costs $20 to $50 more than the one that's flogging it. Last but not least, the crown jewel of CPU testing from here on is going to be Starfield, the latest and greatest CPU melter on the market, and boy does it deliver here. Even with its pretty substantial overclock, the 6900K can't quite crack the 60 FPS mark on our benchmark walk across New Atlantis, while the Xeon i9 boasts an average frame rate of the funny number. Nice. But we can point and laugh at both CPUs here a little bit, because in true Bethesda fashion, both have percentile lows in the 40s, which is par for the Bethesda course. Now let's circle back around to those clock speeds. Yeah, there are a lot of videos, old videos, of people pushing these chips past 4.3 and 4.4 GHz with RAM speeds over 3000 MHz. Keyword there is old. The board is old. Every MOSFET, resistor, and admittedly lovely capacitor on it is old. It's all flirting with a decade old, and eventually time catches up, even with enthusiast hardware. I really tried, but no amount of voltage or clock tweaking could get anything more from the 6900K with any practical stability. And that's why this is a terrible buy in 2023. I didn't even cherry pick the only less expensive combo that could retire the 6900K. You can easily buy a B450 and a Ryzen 5600, or a Z490 and a 10600KF, or any of a dozen other newer similar combos for the same basic price, and they would all relegate the 6900K to a museum piece. So there we have it. X99 enthusiast boards are terrible except for tinkerers, and if you want Broadwell on a budget, just like the last video, go buy a Xeon and a workstation, and thank you all for watching. Oh, and a quick last shout out. Rather than asking you to like and subscribe, please, if you enjoyed this video, go check out Elusive Turtle 16 on Twitch. He's a friend of the channel and provided the mic that has finally allowed for some decent audio. He is on a short hiatus, but should be back very soon, and we've been hashing out some awesome collab ideas, so go check him out. Until the next time, thank you.